Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2004 Mazda 6 Wagon. Up front is a 3.0 liter V6 and down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Mazda 6 for a couple of different reasons. First of all, it's a wagon. I love wagons. Wagons are one of my favorite kinds of cars. And it's a Mazda wagon, something I don't really say that often. The second reason, and more important reason, is the fact that at the time of filming this video, a week ago, I posted a video of a Mazda 6 liftback. And I asked my viewers in that video if anyone had either the Mazda Speed 6 or the Mazda 6 Wagon. And within less than a week, I got offered both of those vehicles and have now reviewed them. So I just want to give a huge thank you to my community, my viewers, for offering these vehicles and giving me the chance to drive these vehicles. I literally just said it in a video and now I've driven both versions, which is just the coolest thing in the world. You guys have so much power and it's awesome and I really, really appreciate it. But speaking of which, if you'd like to submit your vehicle to be reviewed by me, you can go to my website, zackpradel.com. You can buy stickers there as well. You could submit your vehicle through a quick and easy submission form, and you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 3-liter V6 under the hood, making 220 horsepower. Well, this is the Duratec V6. It's a Ford engine, really, used in Mazdas, but also in Fords, and it's fine. The interesting thing is that the Wagon only ever came with the V6. You could not get the Wagon with the 2.3 liter inline 4, nor could you get the Wagon as the Mazda Speed 6 version. So you just got the V6 up front, and honestly, I'm a big fan of the power. It has that low-end torque, and for a daily driver, something you're just gonna kind of drive around in, take to work, take to school, you have plenty of power on tap. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's very, very nice. Like I said, paired to it is that 5-speed automatic. Now, the Mazda 6 later got a 6-speed, but this is still only the 5-speed. And like I said, around town, it's fine. It's a little lazy, it's a little dated, but this car is 18 years old, so you can't really be too mean about it. Last but not least, the Mazda 6 Wagon is front-wheel drive. With that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 main gauges. On the left is my coolant temperature and tachometer, and on the right is my speedometer and my fuel. I do also get these plastic chrome rings around the gauges. Really reminds me of an NB Miata, which was still being produced at this time. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my volume, skip track mode, and mute, and on the right, I have my cruise control options. This steering wheel has been wrapped in an aftermarket steering wheel cover, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend doing this to your Mazda 6. First of all, just look at some beauty shots of it. Looks fantastic. But also, the stock Mazda 6 steering wheels, or any steering wheels from Mazda in this time period, didn't really age well. They're leather, but they become this sort of hard plasticky leather over time and just don't look good. So this steering wheel wrap is really capturing my love. Off to the left, I do have traction control and my gauge dimmer switch, as well as a little cubby. You could use this for your garage door opener or something like that. And then on the door, I have my lock and unlock up top, power mirrors, and then my power windows, with the driver's window being the only auto window in the vehicle. Moving into the center, I do get a storage cubby. However, as I've been told, these are extremely temperamental and easy to break, so just be careful when you buy yours. Similarly, down below, I do have this red readout, very typical of Mazda of this era. They love their little red lights, and these do sometimes go dim or fail to even work at all, so just another failure point on the interior. Then I have 3 climate control vents, very symmetrical, very pleasing to the eye. Then I have the hazard switch and the standard radio. I do have AM and FM, of course, as well as tape, kind of interesting. And then I have my climate controls down below that. Nothing too crazy here. They are very, very early 2000s. This sort of weird matte chrome plastic that was a big fad in the early 2000s when it came to automotive design is very, very present here in the Mazda 6. I also do get a little ashtray and cigarette lighter down below, and then we got to talk about the shifter. This is not the stock shift knob. However, the shifter itself, the shifter mechanism, is stock, and it's the sort of jigsaw shifter you've come to know and love from every early 2000s vehicle. There are no lockouts, but you have to move it this weird way to get it in and out of gear, so that's their safety mechanism. It's so Mazda didn't have to spend money making a button with two different parts and just use the one part and call it a day. Then we have the cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Mazda 6 Wagon. And just like its liftback and Mazda Speed 6 brethren, it unfortunately fails. Then we do have the center console and armrest, and then we got to talk about the seats. The seats are actually decently comfortable, and I think that they've held up really well for almost 150,000 miles on this car. Really, really nice. Are they super luxurious and comfy? Not quite, but that's okay from a Mazda 6. I'm okay with that. This is definitely before Mazda started going up brand. Nowadays, they're a more luxury-ish brand. They're sort of an entry-level luxury brand, or at least trying to be. So these seats are all right. However, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review, and then we'll talk about the cargo space, because that's the important bit. All right, so we're in the back of the 2004 Mazda 6 Wagon, and knee room great, headroom pretty great as well. Really, really awesome space back here. This is a Wagon to its fullest extent, and honestly, the back seats back here are way more roomy, way more comfortable than Subaru Wagon back seats. If you prioritize space over all-wheel drive, this is kind of the one to get, and we'll talk more about that with the cargo space. But the seat fabric is decent. It's sort of basic, but it works. However, something interesting is that the center belt is actually up over my shoulder. I don't know if the GoPro can see it now. We'll cut to a clip here, and you can see it actually has two buckles. Very, very interesting how that works. I don't know if I've seen that in a car, and if I have, then I just forgotten or didn't notice. Very, very cool. Very odd little quirk of the Mazda 6 Wagon. However, speaking of weird quirks, let's go hop in the trunk and talk about a few more. All right, so we are around the back of the Mazda 6 Wagon. This is what we came here for, baby. This is what we showed up for. So let's pop the trunk back here. Just a little latch under there. And pull it up, and you can see you have tons and tons upon tons of room back here. Really, really cool stuff. Way more space than you'd find in the sedan or the liftback. So this is definitely the way to go in terms of cargo space. Speaking of cargo, we do have this cargo cover. You pull it out like so. However, these are very fragile and do break. A lot of them you'll see on the marketplace. This will be like all the way down to the floor. We don't like that. However, there's this little pull tab up here, and it has something really cool. Ready? Dum! Look at that. That is a built-in cargo net. So if you have a pet back here or whatever it might be, I don't know why you would necessarily need this, but it's actually built in and comes out of this area right here. Super, super cool. I just think that that's super unique, and I love that. I don't know if I've ever seen it pop out like that on a car. So, so cool. And then it sort of sticks into these things. That's why I had to put the camera down. It's hard to do one-handed, but then there you go, just pop it right back in. I also have these handles off to the left and right that will lower the second row of seats, so like that, and then it does the same on that side as well. Tons and tons of room back here. This is a huge improvement over any sedan or liftback Mazda 6, and if you prioritize cargo space, this is the one to get. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I love the look of the Wagon. I love the longer roof line. I'm a sucker for wagons through and through. That's the end of that discussion. I love it. The one thing I will say is that this car actually has Mazda Speed 6 wheels. These are not the original factory wheels. The reason I have a slight chuckle in my voice is because earlier this week I filmed a Mazda Speed 6 and it was missing the Speed 6 wheels. So the Speed 6 I filmed didn't have them, but the non-Speed 6 I filmed did have them. Kind of ironic, and I actually filmed them back-to-back days, so allow me to chuckle ever so slightly. But now let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Mazda 6 Wagon? Well, I don't think it'll come to any shock to any fan or viewer of this video that I love it. I really genuinely think this is the best version of the Mazda 6 that's not the Speed 6. If you want an enthusiast car, something that's going to really liven up your commute to and from school or work, get the Speed 6. But for a practicality living version, I'm really impressed with the Mazda 6 Wagon's trunk area. You saw that cool cargo net and cargo cover. The seats fold down. You have tons and tons of space. It's not just a wagon for being a wagon's sake. It actually offers a lot more room than the standard Mazda 6. That's not always the case when cars switch from wagon to sedan. Sometimes there's not that much more space. But here in the Mazda 6, it's definitely very noticeable. And so if you're looking for the more space, the better. The Mazda 6 Wagon is your choice of Mazda estate cars, something that doesn't really exist anymore. They do make hatchbacks, but it's not the same. This thing is just so cool to me, and I have to say I'm really impressed. The driving experience has been great. It's been comfortable, it's been quiet, it's been considerate, and just all together, this is just a really solid package. I like it a lot. I'm a big fan. But huge thank you to Will for letting me review this Mazda 6 Wagon. This was absolutely awesome. Like I said, Will reached out after seeing my other Mazda 6 video, and I cannot thank him enough. It's been absolutely fantastic, and I'm so glad I was able to find this vehicle. This is the best non-turbo Mazda 6 made. It's just the end-all be-all. This is my pick when it comes to that stuff. And that is all thank you to Will. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.